Okay, guys, I don't know if I'm live, but I think I'm live. So, I've been working on the Angular project for some time now, so I'm just going to do a simple demo for you guys to catch up what I've done. I've learned a lot of things, NGX signals, the way they do their state management, global state management in Angular. So, they use this a package similar to Zustand or Redux. There is a package called NGX signals, and that's what they use for managing global state. So apart from that, what else have I done? I think mainly it's been that, and knowing how to use the global state, how to handle reactive values or reactive state, because the state that is reactive, you want when it changes from here, you get like the exact changed state from the other side. Yep, I finally got the yeah, I think that's it. I also got the grasp of how to use computed and why we need computed. I was trying to do I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. Okay, so first I'm going to show you what we have. So initially, if you can remember, you see electronics. You see how these values are changing so often. Like electronics, we had quite a number of items actually. Now we don't have a lot of electronics. There's someone calling the delete endpoint, and yeah, there's someone who created some clause here. Because this thing is shared, anyone just updates the database, then it just gets fucked. It gets fucked. So what I did with this homepage, if you can see, let me just show you guys. So I'm going to go to home. As you can see, what I did is I'm calling the API. So I'm doing a new signal, and I fetch all the categories. Once I fetched all the categories, as you can see, now I'm using that state to render the whole sections, because I realized that whenever because initially I was just passing, see this category ID, initially I had just an integer here, so I had like, okay, but then I realized that this API is open to anyone and a lot of people are changing the API, so you tend to find that these IDs are changing very often. So I was loading the app and then I find that we are not loading some categories, we're not loading these categories, and so I decided to move the category fetch from app category list, then I moved it to the parent. So now we are doing all those fetches from here, and then we're using these ones to render these ones right here. Okay, yeah. So then what I've also done is to the cards I also added this buy button. So all this, what it does is it's going to interact with the global store. So we currently have a store. Okay, store. So we have this store. As you can see, we're using NGRX signals. So that's what we're using for the store. And for this one, it's very similar to how we do Zustand in React. Yeah. So first off, you define the state type, then you define the initial state. This is very important, having these. Okay, let me just show you. Yep, you see all those errors. Initially I struggled with these errors so much, and the issue with these errors was not typing the initial state. So once you have the initial state typed, this is also really important, otherwise you'll get errors when you're using this store. So you need to say this is where we're providing it. We're providing, because it's a global state, then we're going to provide it in the root. So once you have it in the root, you say the initial state with this state. That's how we're starting. Then there is the computed state. So computed in Angular is basically values or state that we derive from existing state. So what this means is whenever this state changes, then we are going to recompute. these particular values, so they're going to be reactive. So it's more or less a way of getting reactive derived values, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's why I was saying I finally understood what computed means, or whenever we're using computed signal. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's the idea right there for computed. And for computed here, what we had is basically the cart item count and the wish list item counts. Okay, so we had these ones, and you can see we're using the computed from Angular core, and then basically we just return the state, cart, and then the length. Okay, so let me show you where we're using these ones. So we're going to go to actions. Okay, so as you can see here, this is where we're using them. So this dot store the wishlist item count, just like that. And because we use the computed, they're going to be reactive out of the box, so we just use them and they're going to be reactive. Okay, yep, they're going to simply become reactive because we're doing that. Okay, then with methods, so these are methods that these are like how do you use to actions in Redux. Yep, so the methods, so the reason we have the signal method right here, the way this guy explained is whenever we want reactive updates, so when we want reactive updates, whenever we want to add something to cart, we want it to refresh or to sync any place where we're using this state. So that's why we're using the signal method right there. So signal method, you type the input parameter we're expecting, and then produce, we're using it from Ima.js. So it's a way of doing immutable updates for the objects. Yeah, so we do produce, we pass the, let's see the type definitions. So as you can see from the typing, we expect the base, then we expect the recipe. So the base is whatever we want to start with, or the state that we want to modify or update, and then we get the draft. So the draft is a copy of that item that we can modify. So the first thing that we do is we check whenever we're adding to check, we check that it's not in cart. Obviously this method needs to be updated so that we can have multiple items in the cart, but yeah, that's the idea. Then we do the draft update, and then we push that, we add the new item, then we do a patch state update. So patch state, yep, there are like two, there's this guy talking about like we have two ways of updating RxJS. There's, you can do the, I cannot remember, guys, I cannot remember. Well, because I've not used Angular like that, so oh yeah. So easy. So you can update it in a simple way or a reactive way. So using the signal method or using the Rx method. So maybe we listen to him explaining that.
Instead of the value, and that means that whenever the signal changes, it's going to call the function again. All right, so let's see this in action. You can see here that we have our category function, but then we also have a react else but the store filtered here. So to do that, we need to update the state in an NGRX signal store. And
guys, this guy has really nice Angular videos if you're learning, especially you're transitioning, you already know React or you have programming experience. It's really easy to pick up, especially for this project that he's doing. It's touching on a lot of the major areas that you normally all the major tools and features you normally use in any application. So handling global state, handling reactive state, and HTTP calls, and all those niceties, he's touching on them in this course. So if you're learning, you can also like give him a follow, give him a subscribe. Yeah.
We use the patch state function basically to update any state of the store,
Yeah.
and it can only be updated
Subscribe.
through its own method in the with
Subscribe.
method section. So that provides us
I missed.
basically to update any state of the store, and it can only be updated through its own method in the with method section. So that provides us sort of a protection against anybody else but the store changing the state itself. Okay, so there are two types of this. So first is a simple change. So we can have a simple function, but then we also have a reactive function. There are two types of them. So there's a signal method and there is an Rx method. Now both of these can also take in signals instead of the value, and that means that whenever the signal changes, it's going to call the function again. All right. So let's see this in action. You can see here that we have our category here. Let's create a method here first. So we're going to do with computed. We're going to do with method here like this. Okay. The notation is going to be the same. So we have reference to the store initially, and then we can specify our methods here like this. So the first method we're going to specify here is going to be set category, right? So we're going to say that it is a simple function, and this function is just going to do patch state from NGRX signal, and also this is going to take category string here in the input, and it's going to do what is going to patch is going to patch the store, and then the second parameter we are going to send in the category here like this. So it's going to update the category state here like this. Now patch state means that it's not going to replace the whole state, it's going to just update the properties that we are giving here. So if you do it like this, it's not going to still work. Let's try it out. So we're going to do set category, and then we're going to call this set category. Let's say in your constructor, we're going to call this set category. So we're going to do this dot store dot set category, and we're going to do this dot category, the value of the category here. Now once we save this, we're still going to see that our products actually don't get filtered. And that is because this function is not reactive. So this is a simple function. This is simple for cases where we want to update stuff one time, but for reactive changes where we want to sync different values, so we want to sync this category at all times with the category inside of the store, we use the signal method or the Rx method, as I said before. So in this case, it is very simple to use the signal method. So we are going to switch this set category to actually be a signal method. Okay, and we're going to take in a string here.
Oh, guys. Oh man, I'm just getting lost on my phone. So we did that, okay? Yeah. So what I wanted to do right now is do forms, because we already have much of this functionality that I was looking for like this simple learning experience. So you can add to cart like so. You can do that. Then you can come here. You can remove. You can toggle remove from wish list. Come here to cart. You can see your summary. All these ones are using the global store, and then we're doing some here's and there's. So I want to get rid of the sign up and only just do the login. And I'm going to do a simple form for that. So I'm going to create a new page, and then so first we're going to jump to actions. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to do sign in right here. Okay, that's simple. Then I'm going to do router link, and then we're going to redirect ourselves to login. Okay, so that's a unique individual page on its own. And what we do with that is I'm going to go to route, then we're going to add a new route. Oh yeah, there's also this one that you need this one. Oh, this is for the home page. I created this one for the home page. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do path, and then we're going to do login. Okay, load component. See, the reason we're doing load component instead of importing them is so it can lazy load. That's what he said. Okay, that's what this friend of mine said. Okay, so we're gonna get it from auth login. So I'm going to create that new page. Okay, ng generate component pages. Okay, so pages auth login. Okay, then okay, so from here you have to come and do export default. Okay, okay, so I almost got lost again, guys. I'm sorry. So we're supposed to do a form right here. So the first thing I have to do is cannot resolve pages, or they should be back right now. So if I hit sign in, cannot match any routes. Okay, route, load component. Okay, like so. Then we can go like that. Okay, so if I go here, there's one thing I gotta do. So I gotta pick this, take it back. So from here I have to do a simple login form. So I'm just going to do a simple login form. Div do I want it to be where we have do I want us to have this one whenever? I think I'll fix that. I'll get rid of this one because I know where it is. I don't know how can I do that. Like, how do we do shared layouts? And Yeah, there's also something else I wanted to learn. You know, I'm going to feed myself too much data. Let me just class name, border, padding 4, rounded, large. Then we're gonna do okay. So we're going to do inputs and yep, TS. So come on, drop. Come on, you want to tell me Angular? Come on, we just get these from Angular forms, and these are simple. It doesn't want to auto import these ones. I don't know why, but yeah, we have them. Okay, so when you go to the HTML, it's going to be simple, and